Hi, good morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time of visiting my channel, please remember to like and subscribe to this channel so that anytime I post any content, you won't miss out. Turn on the notification bell. So thank you very much. Now, today we are going to build a simple drawing app or paint app using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that's what we're going to do, the basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So and that will go along with those are just the requirements you need, just the basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to go with this project. So now we are creating our HTML, which we already seen on the screen. We have index.html, and we have our JavaScript file, which is the in app.js and the style.css file. So as you already seen, we have the app.js, we have index.html, and style.css. So we already have those three files. So now we are starting with the HTML. So you can see everything is still empty. So we are starting from the beginning. So now let's start. First of all, we start with our HTML. So now we have our HTML. You can see the skeleton. We already have the skeleton here, and the title is the simple painting slash drawing app. Simple painting or drawing app. So now that this is our skeleton for the HTML. So now we have the next one, which we are going to link to our CSS, which is style.css. Now you can see it here on your screen. We have a link which links to your style.css. Now we have the next one, which a link that links to our JavaScript. You can see there we have app.js, which is for our JavaScript. And now the next thing we have here, we are going to put a div. Now this div here, you can see is the toolbar. Now when you see your Corel Draw, you always see something like, let me say, you always see the toolbar. Any drawing app at all, not just Corel Draw. We have Photoshop, we have Illustrator, and the rest of others. Each of them have their toolbar. So now this one will serve, this div now will hold our tools that we are going to be using for drawing. So now the next one we have here, we have a button. Now a clear button. This button now clears everything we have drawn on the screen. It clears everything that we have drawn on the screen. So now maybe you have drawn something, or it's something you don't need, or you want to start a new drawing. So this button is going to take care of that. So now also we have a button that will save your work. Like let me just say, after you have done designing, or you are done painting, you are done drawing whatever you want to draw. So this button now is going to be responsible for you to save. So you save everything you have drawn on your PC or to your local device. So the next one we have here is a label. Now a label for the outline. Now and we have an outline here. Now we have an input with a type of range. Now this is going to serve as an outline. That is going to determine our outline, the size of our brush. Now you can see it on the browser. Now this is what we have. We have is a clear button. We save an outline which is going to show the size of the brush. Now when you increase it, the brush increases, and when you decrease, the brush decreases. So that's the function of that this is what is going to act as our brush size for now. Now this is what we're going to use as the brush size. So when you increase it, the brush increases, and when you decrease, the brush decreases. So here we have the color. Now this one is called we call it the color picker. Now this one is going to serve as a color picker. So from here you choose any color you want for your design or for your painting. You can choose the color of your brush or whatever. So now from the browser, let's see what we have here. Now this is what we have. This is the color picker. So now we come here. Now this is what you can see what we have here. Now when you click on it, it brings out the color for you to pick. Yeah, you can pick any color of your choice. And also we have like an eye picker or eyedropper. So now once you click on it, you can pick any color from anywhere on your PC, anywhere or on your PC. You can pick any color from anywhere. So that's the function of this one. So now let's go back to our project. Now we have the next one. we have the next one, which is the drawing tools. Now these drawing tools is a group of tools, like maybe the brush and the pencil, or the pencil and the eraser, the brush and the eraser, and the rest of other. Those are the drawing tools. So now inside this drawing tool, we have first we have an input which serves as the brush. Now we have it's a radio button. Now this one, once it's checked, that means you are using a brush. And the next one we have here, now we are gonna add a break to give it a little space here. You can see it here. Now we have the next one, which is another radio button, and now this one is an eraser. So now you can see from up, from the first one is a brush, while the second one is an eraser. Maybe you mistakenly drew something and you want to like clean it, or you want to reduce it, or you want to like clear it from your drawing. So you use the eraser to clear it off. So that's the function of this eraser. Now the brush, you use it to paint. The eraser, you use it to erase. Already you know the use of an eraser, so I don't need to emphasize on that. So now this label is for the brush, while this label is for the eraser. Now take note, their ID are different. Just like you already know, you don't give to the different elements same ID, but they have the same name. For them to work together, they have the same name. Now let's come back to our browser and check what we are trying to do here. Now you can see we have here the brush, which is already checked, and now we have an eraser. Now if you touch the if you check the eraser, you see that the brush unchecked. Now if we check the brush, the eraser unchecked. Now if we click on the eraser's label, you see that the eraser is still checked, and when we click on the brush label, the brush is checked. Now this label is for this label brush is for this one, while this label eraser is for this other one. Now back to our code. Now the next thing we have now is a drawing board. We're going to have a canvas. Now inside the sorry. Now drawing board, we are going to have a canvas. Now on this canvas is where all our drawings will take place. We are going to draw anything we are drawing will be on this canvas. Now you know in HTML, HTML5, the canvas serves as a drawing board. It's like a drawing board. It's best for like games, drawing apps, and the rest of others. So this is the best element when it comes to drawing, and like in terms of building games or drawing from your school or using JavaScript to draw or whatever. So HTML canvas is best for that. Now we have you already, as you already know, if like in a canvas, anything that appears in between the canvas is not always displayed in your browser. So now that's the reason why I'm putting this text here. Now this text now serves as a comment. So I think this is all we are going to need for our HTML. So now the next thing we are going to know, we are moving to our CSS, which is our styling. Now we need to style it from our browser here. You can see what we already have, but at least we need to give it a little design. The next one we have here is our style.css. Now on our CSS file, now first of all, we are going to give a styling to the body. Now you can see this one. Now the body has, we are going to give it a background of this color. Now we have given a margin of, take away the margin and the padding. Now a box sizing of border box, overflow, hidden, display, flex, and also we give it a flex duration of row. So now this is what we are going to have in our on our browser, and you can see what we have now, just a more friendly color that we have here, not just pure white that we had initially. So now we'll come back here and we give this one a toolbar. We give the toolbar a background color, this background color, and a display flex. Flex duration should be column, which is we are going to arrange. We are going to stack on each other. Then we have a width of 80 pixels, a padding of 10 pixels, a color of white, and the height of 100 view per height. So now this is what we are going to have. So now you can see what we have here from the styling of the toolbar. Now we have this. Now you can see we display them. You can see they are stacked on each other. So now we come back to our code. Now the drawing tools, we are giving them a margin of 1 m. to like give them a little space. And you can see it from the top, a pattern of 1M, and from the left and right we have 0. Now the next one we have the labels. Now the labels we are giving them, now you can see there is more little space now. Now the labels we are giving them a padding or margin from the top of 1M. So you can see what we have here. And the next one we have the drawing board. Now on the drawing board we are giving it a width of 100 view per width, a height of 100 view per height. So you can see this as this is our drawing board. Now this is going to serve as our drawing board, which is the canvas. So we are done with the CSS. Now we are moving to our JavaScript since we are done with it. Now the next thing we have here is our JavaScript file. Now the first thing we have here is our drawing tool, which is now you see I'm using a query selector, document drawing tools. Now document or query selector, drawing tools. Now from our HTML, you can remember we have something like the drawing tool. We have the drawing tools. Now you can see that means this div here contains the brush and the eraser. Now the next one we have here, we have the drawing board. Next one we have here is the toolbar. Now we have the toolbar, we have, which you can see here, we have the toolbar. Now the next one we have here, we have the action button. Now the action buttons are these ones you are seeing here. Now this one here, the clear and the save. Now that's the stroke size we have there. Now that this one is going to take care of the size of our stroke, or the size of our brush, which is, you can call it the brush size. And that sounds more better. Now the next one we have here is the board. Now the board here is the canvas. Now the next one is the color. Now we have this one is the color picker. Now this one serves as, this one is going to take care of our colors, our like when you want you paint, you want to change the color. The next thing here is the brush. Now which is this one, this brush you are seeing here, the brush we are going to be using for painting. And the next thing we have is the eraser tool. And the next one we have here, now we are declaring the content. So the next one we have here, we have the offset. Now the board offset is going to be equal to board dot offset left, which is, that is the offset x. Now you know when we talk of offset x, we are talking of this direction. Now from left to right, from right to left, that's the x direction. That is from left to right. Now when we talk of y, it's from top to bottom. So now the offset y is going to be the board dot offset top. Now the offset top is going to be 0, while the offset left will be minus this, which is the toolbar. Now we are minusing the toolbar from it. Now let's try and see what we have here. Back to, down to our console. Let's see if we can have something. Now let's just say we say console.log console.log. Let's say we have board offset x, board offset y. Now let's see what our console will produce. Now we have, you can see here we have 100 and here we have 0. That means this is already taking 100 pieces, and that means this where our offset is starting from. Now from this where the toolbar ends, while this the offset y is starting from 0, which is this edge here. So you understand what that means now. So now we have the context field. Now the field style is going to be white. So now we are filling the field color. Let's just say for our background, our drawing board, it's going to be white. We'll be using white. Now we have the fill rate. Now the fill rate is where we want to fill our board. Now we are filling it from 0. That we are starting from 0 0, which is when we talk of 0 0 for our board. Now it's going to be from this angle. Now from here the y is 0 and the x is 0. So now the y, we are starting from the 0 of y and the 0 of x. So back to our code. Now you can see what we have here. That means we are starting from at index of 0 from the x-axis and at index of 0 from the y-axis. Now we are using the board width and the board height. Now you come here, look at what we have here. We have from here is the let's just say this is the 0 axis of x. Now down to here, okay, down to here is the board width. Now this is the 0 axis of y, and down to here is the board height. Now when we are starting from here, that means we are starting from 0 of 0. That means the 0 of x and the 0 of y down to this angle, which we have the height of x and the height of y. You can see it's already filled with white. Now assuming I change the color, let's just say we use red. Let's see what we have from our board. Now you can see our board is filled with red. That means this color that is here is the one that is being filled. So now the next one we have here is painting. If we are painting, that means our pen is painting will be true. But now, for now that we are not painting anything, that means it's painting is false. Now the next one we have the start, where we want to start. Now with the start x and the start y, the start x, where we are starting from at the x direction and where we are starting from at the y direction. That is the y axis and the x axis. Now the next one we have this function. Now we have a board. We are going to add an event listener to the board. Start now. So now it's going to be on mouse down. So now once a user holds down the mouse, we are passing in a parameter of e. Now you can see it here, which is event, or you can use events. And first of all, we are setting is painting to true. On mouse down, once the user holds down the mouse, let is painting be true. The next thing we have is start x equal to e.client x. Now this e already I told you event. Now e.client x, that means the mouse position at x axis. And the next one we have the start y is equal to e.client y. That means the mouse position at the y axis. Next one we have here, we have a mouse move. Now this one is on mouse move and another parameter of e. Now we have the next one, which is if. Now the if eraser dot check, that means if the eraser is checked. Now you know, if you remember, the eraser and the brush have the same name, so they cannot be checked. Both cannot be checked at once. So it's only one could be checked at a particular time. So if the eraser is checked, now we are starting with the eraser. If the eraser is checked, context or stroke style equal to white. That means we are painting white on every other thing, on anything we have drawn. Next one we have the brush. Now if the brush is checked, now the context the stroke style is equal to color dot value. So anything we choose from here is the one that will serve as the brush color. The next thing we have here, we have is painting. Now if it's painting to true, now what do we want? Now we have our line width to be a stroke size dot value. Now let's be our brush width, that is our painting width, the brush we are using to paint, is set to this, to the size of this outline here. So now it depends on how the user adjusts the outline. So if you are painting, that means the size of your brush will be equal to the size of this outline we are seeing here. So now the next one we have here is the line width. Context of line width. Now we are almost the same thing. We have set it to the brush size. Now the next one we have here is the line cap. Now the line cap we want it to be round. Now we have context of line 2. Now at e dot client x and minus the board offset. Then at e dot client y. Now we are going to invoke the stroke method. Now the content of stroke. So now when we are on our drawing board, now we can start drawing. Now you can see even when I release my mouse, it keeps drawing as long as my mouse is moving. Now this function here takes care of the mouse up. Now when our mouse is up, that means when our mouse is up, That means we want to stop drawing, or we don't want to continue drawing again. We have set the painting to be false, and now context of stroke now. Okay, and we are closing the parts. Now when we draw, once our mouse is off, we release and it moves. We don't draw again. Now we draw another one. Inside we have action button. Now, okay, if you remember very well, we had two buttons, which is the we have the save and the clear button. Now we have the clear here, we have the save here. So now we are going to implement them. So that's why we are a list, not just one button. So we are going to look through them. Now for const action, but action btn of action btns. Now I guess like this one, I'm using the for loop to look through the buttons. Now to know the one that is clicked at a particular time. So now we have this one. We have action button dot add event listener. Now we are on the action button of action buttons. Now we are adding an event listener to the one that is clicked. Now the event will be clicked. Now once the button is clicked, now we are passing in a parameter of e, and now we are going to pass in a conditional statement. Now if the target also the lock inner width. Okay, so let's just see if this works. Respect. So now the windows of inner width and the windows of inner height. Now this is just to check if it's working or not. So that's for that. So when we click it, you see the numbers appear. So that's to say our button is working. So now the next thing we have here is concept of clear rect 0 0. That is from the x as index of 0 and y at index of 0 to board width and to board height. So that means we are clearing everything on our screen. So let's take for instance we have drawn something on our screen. Now once we draw something on our screen, now you can see we have drawn something already. So now once I click on the clear button, it's going to clear everything that we had on the screen. You understand? So anything we draw, we can clear it using our clear button. You can see it here. Now once we come here, we clear. I see it. So that's the function of the clear button. So now with the next one we have here, so now we are setting the color back to white. And now we are setting it back to white, since that's the color of our drawing board. So now we have we are filling the rect now there at 0, index of 0 and index of 0, because just clearing this color to be white, it won't change anything. So now we are filling it back at index of 0 0 and board width, board height. So now else statement. If the target ID is equal to save, first we have const link equal to document dot create elements a. Now we are going to create an a tag. Once that button is clicked, first thing we want to happen is to create an a tag. Let me just add this comment here. Now we are creating an a tag, an a element. Now the next one we have is link dot download equal to my pens.png. Now what's the function of this? Now I'm passing in this comments here. Now we are passing painting, my painting, as a download value, a download name, a link.href. Now the board, we are converting the board to data URL. Now we are passing the board.data as a link href value. That is a link, a download link value. Next thing we have here, we have link.click. Now the link will be clickable once you click on the link. Now clicking the link to download. If you are designing yours, you can use maybe any other format like a JPEG or any other image format. So that's all for our JavaScript. So you can see now when we come back to our screen, I see everything here. I guess it's working perfectly. So now once I click on clear, clears everything on the screen. And once I draw another thing and I click on save, it saves. directly, downloads the document down. So I can see I'm done with our painting. So let's save it. Now you can see we have saved it as painting. Now it comes to the phone number, which is painting 5.